Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 9. So we are now heading into the final 5 episodes ever of the Flash TV show, with the upcoming episode being that of the Oliver Queen return episode, at least from when I'm making this video. You might see this afterwards, I don't know. With the week after that Oliver Queen return episode being the start of the final storyline ever for the show, that of course being the I guess it's called A New World, but it's the Cobalt Blue focus storyline, which definitely has me excited, seeing I've been wanting, well, this character, again, I guess effectively this storyline to happen since the end of season 1 when Eddie Thawne was dragged away into the Singularity. But though Cobalt Blue is the focus of the storyline, we do have some returning characters within that storyline, such as Nora West Allen, aka XS, and Jay Garrick when it comes to the heroic side of things, at the very least coming back. But on the other side of things, the more villainous, shall we say, we also have Matt Letscher returning for one final episode. Now, the specific episode number for his return, like episode 10, 11, 12 or something like that, and well, for that return and farewell, hasn't been revealed as of yet. But it was announced at the same time that Nora, aka XS, was announced, as well as, I think, Jay Garrick? No, sorry. It was announced that Rick Cosnett, who played Eddie Thawne, was back. Then Nora, as well as Matt Letscher. It was those three on the same day, I think, in the one announcement. And with Nora, she first appeared back for this season in, I think, episode 12, I think it was, or the second last episode. At least those were the set photos we saw her for. And then we also know that she's in the series finale as well. And when it comes to Rick Cosnett, we know he's first appearing in episode 10. So Matt Letscher could be back in episode 12, it could be episode 11, or it even could be episode 10. We'll have to wait and see in regards to that. I have a feeling he's going to be in episode 11 or 12. I don't think he's going to be in 10 or, 13, the finale. I think it's going to be 11 or 12. So that's my prediction, at least in regards to that. But the big question that many people have in regards to, not just Matt Letscher's Reverse Flash coming back, but just Reverse Flash as a whole, is whether they finish his story on the show. And if they do plan on doing that, how they're going to go about it. And I think that's actually a pretty interesting question, which could just be answered by someone fairly easily just saying like, oh, well, you kill him, or something really simple like that. But, with Reverse Flash specifically, they've done that already multiple times across multiple shows. So could there be something different? And you'd think, hopefully, yes. Well, there is something from the comics of, recent, I would say pretty recent, that a few people have brought up that they wouldn't mind seeing. And actually, when I think about it, it'd be a bit of a goated way to end the Reverse Flash story. But even with this theory, there is still the question which specific Reverse Flash it could be used on, as we do know that Tom Cavanagh is also coming back to play Reverse Flash in the finale, but we will touch upon that side of things as well after addressing what the theory is. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below your various thoughts on this theory. Would you like seeing this? Do you think it's a decent idea? Or do you have another idea in general? Because this one sounds pretty good, and I think a lot of people would actually be pretty favorable of it and like it. But then some people might be like, no, I hate it actually. And tell me if you do. I'm curious. And of course, want to show you support, everything like that. Looking forward to The Flash coming towards its end and excited for the final episodes. Drop a like on the video, show your support. Now you might be wondering, Pagey, you fracking idiot. Just need to repeat that so you know what I said, just in case someone thought I was actually being expletive there. What theory are you talking about? Well, it's this one. So in a recent run in the comics written by Joshua Williamson, if we're going to be completely formal, who Eric Wallace, the showrunner of The Flash, has based a bunch of his stories off, he wrote that he wrote a story around like Barry owning and sort of beating Eobard Thawne, aka Reverse Flash, in a deep but also non-violent manner. And that was simply by forgiving him. Yes, just by saying, I forgive you. With Barry saying that both, him and Eobard are stuck in this loop of hatred, of mutual hatred, and stuck on actions of the past and keep revisiting him and like anger being brought about them. And this forgiveness that Barry gives Thawne breaks that loop, which in turn erases Thawne as he was kept alive and not changed despite all the different things that have happened due to that loop. Now, to me, this actually sounds, like an actually pretty decent and different way to end this relationship and feud that doesn't involve like a speedster fight that we've seen so many times before already. Like, we don't need another speedster fight of them running through Central City and quickly fighting and bumping into each other. We've seen it that many times. This is different. This is actually, I think, a really, really solid way to end the story with Barry and Reverse Flash. And here is the big question when it comes to this theory or this potential thing that happens on the show. Would it be used on the Matt Letcher version or the Tom Cavanagh version? As I said, both of them are showing up in these final handful of episodes. Now, with the Matt Letcher version, as I said, it looks like he's going to be in either episode 11 or 12. That's what it looks like at the very least to me. And that he'll probably be a bigger, or at least more focused in character than Tom Cavanagh's version, who appears to be just be playing into whatever's going on in the series finale. So at least in regards to time that you could spend with a specific version of the Reverse Flash, and if you wanted more time with the character to tell this story, it would be Matt Letcher's version, because I think he's actually going to be a proper character in that episode. And Eric Wallace has stated that the story that they wanted to do with Matt Letcher's Eobard, which apparently is happening in this episode that he's showing up in, is something that they've been waiting to do for a while with him, which could be this thing from the comics potentially with Barry forgiving Eobard. But there is one other story or event that Eric has teased happening, and that many viewers have wanted to see and hoped to see in this episode that Matt Letcher's in, and that is the Reverse Flash Origin episode, which was teased, if not pretty much just set up in Armageddon last season. So is that what is happening in the episode that Matt Letcher is showing up in, the Origin? And to be honest, I think that suits his version of the character for this final season and the setting much better. He is meant to be the OG Reverse Flash, so give him the story that links up with being the OG. But with this story from the comics recently, in my opinion at the very least, it suits better for Tom Cavanagh's version. It could go both ways, but I think it suits better for Tom Cavanagh's version. But you might be wondering why. Well, as I said, Tom Cavanagh is coming back as not just Reverse Flash, but also Timeless Wells. I was going to say Tomless Wells, but it's Tom playing Wells, so it's definitely not Tomless, but Timeless Wells by the looks of it in the finale. And though I don't think there will be a ridiculous amount of this version of Reverse Flash on screen, like at least in regards to having one-on-one time with Barry, they could easily slot this moment in. You know, pretty much what I've shown you is like just one page from the comic, so you could easily put it into one scene if you wanted to. And it could be Barry realizing that what is going on with Cobalt Blue and all these villains and everything that is going on at that point is too much, and focusing in on Eobard, who's probably trying to bait him potentially in the episode, is a waste of time. So we could easily get a version or take on this moment from the comics where Barry realizes that this is the way to go about things, and what Reverse Flash wants is for that loop to keep going. So if Barry breaks that loop, it would only take a scene potentially, especially if it's built off stuff that Barry learns throughout this Cobalt Blue stuff, mainly around forgiveness, which could potentially be a major theme in the Cobalt Blue arc. And I think in this, hypothetical scene with Barry forgiving Eobard and Eobard being erased due to it, I think Tom Cavanagh would pull it off perfectly. I think he'd be able to play Eobard so well in that scene. So I'll be pretty damn excited to see that play out if that's what's going on with the Tom Cavanagh version. But as I said, it could also work with the Matt Letcher one as well. But with Tom, he is the version of Reverse Flash that we have spent the most time with, and the one that this version of Barry that we have, hung out with for, all these seasons has faced off against the most. So in my eyes, at the very least, it just does make more sense that Barry would forgive this Tom Cavanagh version and have him fade away, while the Matt Letcher version is in the previous episode or two before the finale, is the one who maybe gets the origin story or something similar to an origin story. Now, in regards to other options for Reverse Flash stuff with specifically Matt Letcher's Eobard, mainly if it's neither of the two that we mentioned here, both the origin or the forgiveness sort of farewell fading away thing, what else is there? Now, I don't honestly know, at least when you go back to Eric Wallace's comments about, it's something that we've been waiting to do. Because when I think about that, the only thing I can think of is the origin story. That's the only one I can think of. Outside of one that I thought we might have that a lot of people have maybe put to the side and thought wasn't going to happen again. And that's revisiting the night of Nora's murder. Now, we know we're going to the day of the night of her murder. We know that based off set photos. I won't specify what episode, just in case someone's still in the dark about that, but we are going to revisit that. So, could he play into that? Now, Matt was never seen on set. It was just announced he was coming back for an episode. So maybe it could have been an entirely indoor episode, at least in regards to what he filmed, and that's why he wasn't seen on set. So maybe it was inside Barry's childhood house. That's definitely a possibility. Not saying that's exactly what's happening, but I mean, it's definitely a possibility. Now, I don't know if that would be the thing, but I guess if a Reverse Flash was going to be at the night of Barry's mother's murder again, I mean, it's going to be that version. It's not going to be Tom Cavanagh's version. It's going to be that OG Matt Letcher looking Reverse Flash, which once again, we're talking about loops with potentially it. Actually, now that I think about it, it actually might be I guess it works either way. It works either way because what we could see with Matt Letcher's version is the start of the loop, where the loop started, or where, like, I guess chronologically the loop starts. And then with Tom Cavanagh's version, we see the loop break. So in the episode or two beforehand, whatever episode it's in that Matt Letcher shows up, we see where the loop constantly gets reset, if you want to put it, with the murder of Nora Allen and that hatred that Barry would have for Eobard. Potentially also doing a bit of an origin thing in there, which sort of shows Eobard's hatred for Barry, and that kickstarts it all. And then we have the forgiveness in the finale. That actually, am I overthinking this? I think I might be overthinking it and creating a better story that's going to be there. But imagine that. Imagine we got that episode with Matt Letcher where it shows maybe signs of his origin, where he learnt his hatred for Barry or built his hatred for the Flash, and then show the bit where we have the birth of Barry's hatred for Eobard. And then in the finale, we have Barry forgiving and breaking that loop. So we see the beginning of the loop, you know, in episode 11 or 12, and then the breaking of the loop in episode 13. Oh man, I think I might be overthinking this and creating something better that's going to be there. But if there's something similar to that happening, then we could be in for a really good sort of like mini arc just with the Reverse Flash stuff within the Cobalt Blue storyline. Oh, I've got a headache now because I've overthought that. I'm sorry. I feel bad now because I feel like I might have made something that's better than it's going to be in the actual episode. Oh my goodness. I think we might have to end the video. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. Just let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. Do you like the sound of that or something similar to that happening? If so, let me know. I'm always curious to read what you guys are thinking. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like on it to show support. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and I will catch you guys later. I'm going to need a Panadol or something. Anyway, see ya.